welcome to Kimball's Court. I'm Kimball Jones. I'm a trial attorney here in Las Vegas. On everything that I do, it's Kimball Jones, trial attorney, people helper. I love trial. It's the thing that I'm passionate about, but really this is all about helping people, individuals who really need help, and who have had justice frankly taken from them through no fault of their own, and we're here to get it back, and that's very important, very meaningful to us. Now, I am here today with my partner, Nathan Morris. He's a founding partner, one of two founding partners of Bighorn Law. Bighorn Law started in 2011 and has grown into one of the largest personal injury plaintiff law firms, and frankly, it goes beyond that. Right now it's immigration, Social Security disability, workers' compensation, criminal, it covers a number of areas now, and over a number of states. But I'm fortunate to be here with Nathan Morris, my partner, and I'd like to get into a little bit of who Nathan is. Just so
it's a dark hole, Kimball. Let's see how we do it.
You know, Nathan Morris is one of the most interesting people that I have ever met in my life, and that is absolutely the truth. In fact, almost anyone who has ever met Nathan Morris would be able to tell you that he is one of the most interesting people that they have ever met.
Too kind.
Nathan is a brilliant guy. He's a brilliant partner, and he started out. Well, I want to get into where you started out.
Okay.
So Nate, you go to undergrad. You go to law school. Go to undergrad at BYU.
Yeah.
You go to law school at UCLA.
Yes.
And like so many people, the glamour of the big law firms in the big city, New York, LA, and you take a big time job with a big time firm. And that's how we start out, and then I want to kind of walk through what got us to here.
No, fair enough. Yeah. So I started out, went to UCLA, and I just found some really, really great people, and they asked me to come join this amazing firm. It was called Milberg Weiss. At the time, they were known for their shareholder derivative lawsuits, as well as a lot of quitam but all plaintiffs' work, all helping people, and that really attracted me. And so they came in and they said, hey, we'd love you to start working with us. I had some relationships that we wanted to explore in developing areas of client base for them. And so it was kind of amazing. Really early on, I got pulled into interacting with the admin committee, the executive committee, and it was like, sitting at the feet of giants, just people doing amazing things, and just saying, man, what can I suck up here? What can I sponge up and emulate? So that's what I did early on, working in LA. And then, this crazy commute to New York from the West Coast.
Now, you're a family guy like me.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So I'm married. I have 4 kids. Been married for a very long time.
Yeah.
And when I'm not working, that's my life. You know. And Nate, I know is very much the same.
No, similar deal. My choice, right? Yeah.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, Milberg, highly competitive to get into, but as are a lot of the big firms in New York, you don't get to see your family a lot.
No, yeah, it was funny, right? Like, and we've talked about this, like the first, you first come in, you walk in, there's a futon right there in the office, and you're thinking, yeah, this is fantastic. Little do you know why that futon is there.
Well, why is that? Go ahead.
Well, it's like the 100-hour weeks, right? That's just the expectation. Everybody there is just, complete bad A's, and they're just, insane. But, many nights spent in the office because you just got deadlines. You got to make things go. And then, oftentimes you're like traveling 2-3 weeks a month, whether it's depositions or conferences or whatever it is. But you get pulled into it. It's amazing. We were lead counsel taking down Bernie Madoff, right? And you're like, and then they did like Countrywide, Enron, Tyco, and you're thinking, wow, this is amazing. But then you wake up one day, and at least I did for me. I loved it. But I thought, man, I don't know if this is what I want. And so, for me, it was, hey, I was lucky my wife was still digging me when I came to that realization, right? And together we came to that realization, I should say. and it was just, look, we can't have the family we want to have in New York, or we didn't want to, right? I mean, just insanity. So yeah, that's when we decided, hey, we're gonna stay in Vegas, and that's gonna be our place.
That's awesome. Now you came to Vegas.
Yeah.
You worked for a firm for a little while, and then you decided, hey, I'm going to open my own shop. Now I know you had a partnership concept in mind.
Yeah.
I'd like you to kind of walk through the idea of Bighorn. How did you decide?
No, that's great. Like I mean, I always knew when I left. I'm like, if I'm going to leave, I'm going to do my own shop, right? Because I just saw the creative process of all these other amazing attorneys I was working with. I mean, it's insane. And I saw what they were doing, and I said, well, I want to have that. I want to do that. I want to create. I want to make this, form an amazing group of people that can do amazing things. And so, yeah, I mean, the time came when it was, very quickly after being in Vegas, working in personal injury specifically for the few months, and saying, all right, now it's time. And making that decision with our founding partner Ryan Anderson, we just realized each other was crazy, and hey, let's do something crazy together and create, and that was Bighorn. And so from the start we jumped in and said, hey, let's do this.
That's awesome. So you formed Bighorn, and it started off as a very small law firm. You had the two of you and a receptionist essentially, right? And now you've expanded it out. Tell everybody why a partner to begin with, because you're exceptional at starting.
No, sure.
These, and then why a partner, and then walk through the expansion of a company like this.
No, that's cool. Well, I mean, look, really early on, I had a mentor, and actually this was somebody I'd known, as a teenager, and our families knew one another, and it was just something that he said to me really early on that just captured me. And what he said was, look, alone you can be wealthy, you can have a great business, you can do great things. But to create legacy, you've got to find a core of amazing partners that you can really do anything with. That is how you make legacy. You can't do it on your own. And look, that stuck with me. I mean, I have, great examples throughout my life, but, I don't have examples in my family of people being successful, building great company, entrepreneurs. First one in my family to finish college and be able to go and do that. And so it was, hey, go get an education, but what do I do after? Okay, I don't know. And then this mentor that I had, who's a successful real estate entrepreneur in Las Vegas, gave me that advice. He was kind of looking back, and he gave me that advice, basically saying, I should have done that. I wish I could have found that. And then, so that was really the impetus of that desire for me, that belief that, look, you can do great things, but if you want to build a legacy, you've got to find great like-minded people and partner with them. And those type of risks that you take are the pound of flesh that's required for success, in that. So that's that principle that both Ryan and I, brought in together. And frankly, from, you obviously came on a couple years later on at the firm. You guys had known each other in law school. You finally, saw the light and left the military and came back to practice, thank goodness. But it was with that idea that, look, this is not, we're going to hire Kimball, Ryan's friend.
Right.
This was, hey, he's the type of guy that we want to be with forever and partner with, so let's start that process.
Yeah, and so...
I mean, how was that for you?
Yeah, so that... I'll give a little bit of my background a little bit more. So when I graduated, in law school, Ryan and I, who was one of the founding partners, Nathan's founding partner, the two of them formed Bighorn. And when that happened, I was doing intel for the Army. And after law school, I decided that...
That's how you gloss over that. Yeah. Amazing work. But I get it. Keep going.
In law school, I found law to be very, very boring. I thought law school was kind of boring. Yeah. And then the law jobs that I had after law school, I thought were kind of boring. So I decided to go do Intel work, and I loved it. So I got to do fun things in fun places for a few years. But eventually, I had a second child, and we decided that it was going to be better to be in one location for kind of the long haul. My wife and I did.
Yeah.
So we came here, but honestly, it was all about the people. I came here to Las Vegas because of Ryan Anderson, because I was very impressed with what he had done, and I didn't know Nathan yet. I'd had a lot of conversations with Ryan talking about Nathan. So anyway, I came back, took the bar exam, and next thing you know, I'm working for Bighorn Law. And I had an interview with Nathan way back then. This
That's
is February 2013, when Nathan agreed to let me come on board. And it was, I'll tell you, I went home and my mind was blown. I mean, Nathan is the man has vision that is uncommon, and you see that in Bighorn Law, but also you see it in many other enterprises. I'd like to talk about one other company that you formed.
Sure.
So we won't get into it in detail, but Nathan Morris comes up with brilliant ideas on a daily basis. One of these ideas that Ryan and Nathan came up with together is a project management company called Filevine. Originally, it was called something else, and they
crops back in the day. Terrible. Yeah.
And now, of course, it's a huge company that I think it's one of the largest in the world now in terms of legal project management software. Right. Tell a little bit about that.
No, I mean, look, it comes back. With that, it comes back to influences. Early on. And I'd have to say, I mean, two influences: the Iron Man movie, where he's playing with his computer up in the air, and the big idea with Ronnie Deutsch. I mean, fantastic show, right? Where he would just bring people on and say, all right, what's the deal going on? And he would always, how did you do this? What was your story? And he would always, that tagline, there's got to be a better way,
Right.
And so we asked that question. There's got to be a better way. We were jumping in, and we were literally on that tipping point of tech and law and in legal, where it said, what do you like? Where's legal going? Because there were still people running around the courts with paper files, right? Everybody had a big, paper file around them and a little caddy with them, and we just thought, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. Why is this even happening? And so that was our big idea. We're just going to do it a better way, and hey, it's going to be just as cool as Iron Man's computer that talks, right?
Right,
and,
right.
And you can manipulate information and see what you want to see and know what you want to know when you want to know it. But I mean, frankly, those are the principles that really got it going in our head. And then we just came together with, that same idea of looking for folks who could thinking like-minded and form great partnerships. There's a guy named Jim Blake that we came across, and you guys worked together.
Right.
He was embedded in the law firm in the beginning.
Yeah, Jim, I consider him a good friend. I mean, to this day.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that, he's like one of those savants that's an amazing person you want to be around, right?
Right.
And his ability to construct and architect, I mean...
So Nathan is a very, very bright guy. Ryan's a very bright guy. I'm moderately intelligent. This Jim Blake is a true genius, and he is just a phenomenal guy to be around. And so those of us, and really it's a pretty small circle of people that have really got to know Jim well, and be able to say that Jim is our friend. But anyway, what a phenomenal guy. But he really was kind of the architect that helped build Filevine, of course, with your and Ryan's vision.
No, that's true. And then from there, I mean, just that same principle of we need to partner with great people. We need to find great people. And that principle of that's how you create legacy is where, like, when we became partners, right? I mean, it was just like a self-evident thing of, okay, this is ridiculous. This is how it has to be. Because it's like that we realize that's what frees us up to be able to be who we want to be and create that legacy.
It's interesting. You end up living so much of your life with the people that you work with. It's you spend more time with them than your own family in some instances, and the partnerships that you form, it goes beyond the actual partners. I mean, Nathan and I own things in common now, right? And we're partners in that sense. But I will tell you, case managers, paralegals that we partner with, goodness, the people that
Yeah.
we choose to be around, that we choose to make, frankly, our partners just for segments of our work life, what a massive impact that has on everything. And I don't want to go into it too much and bore everyone with more COVID information, but
Yeah.
we have a phenomenal staff. Production has not gone down since COVID, it's actually gone up. We've sent people home, we can identify what people are doing because of FileVine, we can see what they're doing, and the production has actually gone up, and that speaks to the amazing people we have within our organization. But man, we sure do try
Yeah.
to select employees, frankly, probably as carefully as some people do select their partners, to make sure that we get the right people, and that is a really great lesson that we've learned over time, how important that is.
Well, and that's also a great lesson I've learned from you is that partnership level loyalty that I've seen on the teams that you have been charged to lead, right? I mean that's something that it can't go without being recognized. I mean, these are real relationships. You said we're
Right.
spending more time with them than our loved ones.
Right.
And that, I mean, for me has been a great example as well, to see that type of engendered, ingrained loyalty, not that's being fabricated, that just exists because of how you are interacting with those folks that you're, in that sense, partnering with.
Yeah. Now, something that I want to do. First, I want to go over a quick little note on sports. So,
All right, I knew it was coming. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
So the Raiders are coming to town.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, let's just make it simple, man. Where do you stand, dude?
I mean, yeah, that's a really good question. Look, I am a hardcore '85 Bears fan. I knew it was coming. I mean, I have to. I mean, it's ingrained in my DNA. I mean, I do want to recognize though that
Very few things are as cool as Jim McMahon rapping.
no, that's right. But I do got to give you props and recognize that you have been a Bo Jackson fan, vis-a-vis a Raiders fan for most of your life. You are not a geographic Nevada, Las Vegas Raiders fan.
Let the record reflect that Bo Jackson, he's the baddest that has ever lived. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
But for a horrible injury, I mean, the guy goes anyway.
Yeah.
The Raiders would have won many Super Bowls, and I am not bitter about anything. But I've loved the Raiders since I was a kid. Fortunate, my older brother was a big fan, and it just so happens I got lucky and my team moved to my town. So
There you go. So look, though, I got to answer your question honestly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, I'm a converted Raiders fan now.
Good.
Right? So I'm going to join the fold.
Good. That's what I want to hear. So we'll talk Raiders now and again. I'm a much bigger fan than my family wants me to be, but I can tell you about every draft pick, including how Arnett, who some people say was overrated and was drafted too high. I could go on about how his 40-yard dash was 0.12 seconds off, and he's a much better prospect than they give him credit for. Anyway, for all you Raider fans out there, but we won't do any more of that today. I do want to ask one more question.
No, hit me.
What is a great book that you have read in the last, let's say, 6 months that our listeners could look at, and why is it a great book? What should they take from it?
I mean, look, I gotta go back to old school. I mean, I like to revisit some of the most ridiculous cliche stuff because I think you find really, really good. You glean amazing principles from it, and I have to say it's Carnegie, man. The
How to Win Friends, or?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Awesome.
It's just something. I mean, I found that going back to it with my life experience right now, it just created a whole different experience, again, to be repetitive, of what that book meant to me and what it opened it up for me. I mean, that was one of the early on reads that, kind of guide you, but How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mean, look, revisit it. I mean, it's going to be different now.
No, well, and I will tell you, I haven't read it again, but I did mark it up when I was in college, my first.
Oh yeah.
But I've listened to it on Audible like a year ago, and
perfect.
and I couldn't agree more. It's people who have not read that book and they think that there's something insincere about winning friends, right, or influencing people, that there's any degree of insincerity there. That's not true, and it is a book that everyone should read. I will tell you, of many things that it taught me.
Yeah.
It helped me understand, even though I'm not a great listener, it helped me understand the importance of listening, and it made me a better listener, and it helped me care more about what other people are saying. Great book, one for the ages. Anyway,
there we go.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate having you, my
It's been
man.
good, brother.
Thanks for joining us for Kimball's Court. We were privileged to have Nathan Morris with us, founder of Bighorn Law and of Filevine. Today, we're going to bring more episodes to you, probably about once a week, maybe a little bit more often, where we're going to talk about the law, books, and sports primarily, and with just interesting people mixed in there, and whatever experiences people have had in their lives, and we're going to go over it and learn some things.